It's not just email, you can shop online.
Oh, no. Shopping is my cardio.
Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to MsMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things only Sex and the City fans understand.
I spent $40,000 on shoes and I have no place to live?
You get behind your choice.
I am behind my choice. I choose my choice.
Your girl is lovely, Hubble.
For this list, we're looking at the things that make up the sacred bond between people who love this show. So, what else do only Sex and the City fans get? Be sure to let us know in the comments. All right, let's get into it. Number 10. Not everyone is a Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, or Samantha. From the time that Sex and the City first aired, it seemed that everyone wanted to categorize themselves as either a Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, or Samantha.
Sweetheart, this is the first time in the history of Manhattan that women have had as much money and power as men, plus the equal luxury of treating men like sex objects.
In the years since the show premiered, there have been countless online quizzes created to tell you which character you're most like.
I forgot how hard it is. You just take all the time you need, okay?
The thing is, however, Carrie's three friends are created as exaggerated archetypes, so it would be surprising for any real-life person to have all that much in common with them. All four women have traits that are likely relatable to many women, so feeling like you're a combination of them all is totally fair.
The most exciting, challenging, and significant relationship of all is the one you have with yourself.
Number 9. Carrie is supposed to be an antihero. While Carrie may be Sex and the City's protagonist, she isn't written like the majority of other female characters that were seen on TV prior to the show's release in 1998.
I'm missing the bride gene. I should be put in a test tube and studied.
Emily Nussbaum, writing for The New Yorker, calls Carrie TV's first female antihero, praising the writer's decision to allow Carrie significant flaws that, at times, made her utterly unlikable.
Wow, last time I took the bus it was like 75 cents. You know, for $3 more you could take a cab.
The way Carrie behaves isn't always relatable, and she often does things that make viewers cringe.
I spent $40,000 on shoes and I have no place to live? I will literally be the old woman who lived in her shoes.
But when watching the show through the lens of her being an intentionally imperfect woman, it's easier to appreciate it for what it is. Number 8. The significance of a drawer. In the Season 2 episode Evolution, Carrie is dating Mr. Big and laments the fact that she has to cart all her toiletries and personal items all over town with her for when she sleeps over.
What's this?
Oh, just a few things you left at my place.
Oh. Thanks.
She has no space of her own in which to leave her things at his apartment, which makes her feel displaced.
I don't wake up looking like this. I actually need stuff to look like this, and it would be nice not to have to carry it around all day with me like a nomad.
The entire storyline signifies the imbalance in Carrie and Big's relationship, which is created by Big being unwilling to commit to her.
I have my place, you have yours. We're together when we want to be, and we're apart when we want to be.
The fact that the episode doesn't even end with him giving her a drawer gives a hint of the turmoil to come in their love story. Number 7. Don't underestimate a lazy ovary. In Season 2, Miranda is diagnosed with a lazy ovary, which means that her odds of naturally conceiving a child are diminished.
Yes, your right ovary has stopped producing eggs.
Is it possible it's just on strike?
2 seasons later, Miranda hooks up with her ex-boyfriend Steve, who has recently gone through testicular cancer.
Miranda realized the one thing she could do to help Steve didn't involve books or balls.
Considering both of their reproductive hurdles, Miranda doesn't think they need to use a condom and ends up getting pregnant.
You're sure?
I took 3 EPT tests and I'm coming from my doctor, which is why I called you to meet me way down here on the corner of 23rd and I'm in hell.
It's a lesson to us all that no matter what the circumstances are, it is always prudent to use protection. Of course, things end up okay for Miranda and Steve in the end, considering the pregnancy results in Brady. Number 6. You may think you want a Trey, but fall for a Harry. When we first meet Charlotte, her romantic aspirations seem to be pretty superficial. She wants to meet a wealthy guy from a good family who checks all the boxes and looks good on paper. She thinks that women have to follow the rules of dating to land themselves the perfect guy.
Frankly, I don't care. And another thing,
I'm not buying into any of that women having sex like men crap.
But when she ostensibly finds Mr. Right in successful Dr. Trey McDougal, it turns out to be a disastrous match.
I want a baby. I thought that's what you wanted too.
So did I.
I don't think I should have to give that up.
You shouldn't.
Charlotte only gets her real happily ever after when she throws all the rules out the window and meets Harry, who may not be the man she imagined, but ends up being the perfect guy for her.
I don't like this, I'm afraid.
Now what? What's the worst that can happen? We'll live happily ever after?
Number 5. The meaning of hubble. If you're under the age of 50, you may not be familiar with the classic romantic film The Way We Were. If you've seen Sex and the City, however, you know the basics of the plot, including the iconic line, "Your girl is lovely, Hubble."
Your girl is lovely, Hubble. Why don't you bring her for a drink when you come?
That's because the 4 women of Sex and the City discuss the impact the movie had on them, and how Carrie sees herself as a Katie girl.
Ladies, I am having an epiphany. The world is made up of 2 types of women, the simple girls and the Katie girls. I am a Katie girl.
In the episode X in the City, Carrie runs into Big after his engagement party and delivers the heartbreaking line from The Way We Were, showing that she's letting their relationship go. At least for now.
Your girl is lovely, Hubble.
I don't get it.
And you never did.
Number 4. I choose my choice. While the women of Sex and the City make many dubious decisions throughout the series, there's one thing they all maintain: being entirely themselves.
Hi, it's Carrie Bradshaw. I wanted to let you know that I'm getting married to myself. Oh, and I'm registered at Manolo Blahnik. So thanks. Bye.
Each of the 4 women has a distinct personality, and they inevitably clash at times when it comes to the choices they make. When Charlotte wants to quit her job in order to become a homemaker, fiercely independent Miranda isn't able to hold back her judgment.
I am quitting my job to make my life better and do something worthwhile, like have a baby and cure AIDS. Oh! You're gonna cure AIDS? Good for you, Charlotte. Just don't be too disappointed if all you wind up with is a pretty ceramic mug with Trey's name on it.
In the end, however, all of the main characters act as examples of how women can make their own choices, taking different paths in order to have lives that are right for them.
You get behind your choice. I am behind my choice. I choose my choice.
Number 3. The intense connotations of a postit. In season 6 of the show, Carrie's boyfriend Berger memorably breaks up with her on a post-it note that simply reads, "I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me."
On a post-it?
Yep. Read it and weep, my friends.
This is arguably one of the worst breakups in television history, drawing the ire of any fan of the show due to Berger's selfish and careless behavior.
I think you could all get over your fear of looking like the bad guy and actually have the uncomfortable breakup conversation, because here's what: avoiding that is what makes you the bad guy.
While the episode that follows turns the situation into a humorous one, you can't help but feel for Carrie as another relationship ends despite her best efforts.
I thought you were going to break up with him.
Yeah, I was, and I should have, but he said that he wanted to try to work things out, aka leave in the middle of the night.
No fan will ever think of those sticky little notes the same way ever again. Number 2. Carrie's fashion sense wasn't meant to be universally appealing. We already discussed the ways in which Carrie was intentionally designed to be unlikable, but we haven't yet touched on her wardrobe.
While Samantha put on the best of the 80s, I put on the worst.
Sex and the City is a show with a heavy focus on fashion, and throughout the series, Carrie in particular wears many incredible outfits, and some questionable ones.
If you thought that I had made some kind of mistake, I would want you to tell me.
Oh? Nice hat. Carrie.
It's fabulous, and you just said that to hurt my feelings.
Well.
You could even say that Carrie was repping man repeller style before the term was even popularized. The thing is, however, Carrie's style wasn't meant to be beloved by all viewers. She takes risks and dresses for herself, rather than in the interest of pleasing the male gaze or the gaze of the viewer.
Well, that's just fabulous.
So what is it about Sex and the City that you've just stopped explaining to people who don't watch the show? Number one is a pretty universal truth that I hope we can all agree on. So let's look through some honorable mentions, and then we'll see the number one thing that only Sex and the City fans understand. Don't say I love you on a cookie. There are a lot of ways to express your feelings, but this is not one of them.
It was delicious.
Good. What about what it said?
Sweet. So sweet.
The movies aren't canon. Well, technically they are, but we don't want to accept it.
Condoms, yes! Condoms!
Shopping is acceptable cardio. Who needs the gym?
It's not just email, you can shop online.
Oh, no. Shopping is my cardio.
The inexplicable mystique and mystery of Skipper. It seems like he completely disappeared.
I totally believe that love conquers all. Sometimes you just have to give it a little space. And that's exactly what's missing in Manhattan. The space for romance.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. You can have more than one soulmate. In the Season 4 premiere, the women discuss the concept of soulmates and whether a person gets more than one in their lifetime.
The bad thing about the one perfect soulmate is that it's so unattainable. You're being set up to fail.
Exactly, and you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah, and it makes the gap between the holy grail and the assholes even bigger.
Well, I don't care. I believe in soulmates.
Carrie is also celebrating her 35th birthday in this episode, and finds herself crestfallen when her party ends up being a total bust, lamenting the fact that she doesn't have a man in her life to make the day feel special.
And I hate myself a little for saying this, but it felt really sad not to have a man in my life who cares about me.
In one of the most touching and memorable moments of the series, Charlotte suggests that the women be each other's soulmates, relegating men to the sidelines.
Maybe we could be each other's soulmates. And then we could let men be just these great, nice guys to have fun with.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
It's a scene that sums up the important themes of the show and inspired viewers to reconsider who their true soulmates really were. So, do you believe that you can have more than one soulmate? Have you ever dressed like Carrie Bradshaw? Which Sex and the City truth do you subscribe to? Be sure to let us know about it in the comments, or come tell me on Twitter or Instagram @Rebecca Brayton, or on my YouTube channel. See ya!